Tonight on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide, Kareem Waltz, aka Lil Maceo, comes to our platform. Critically acclaimed and highly sought after, Lil Maceo tantalizes his audience with electrifying performances. The creative is noted as one of contemporary jazz's most thrilling and emotive performers, with bona fide, unadulterated funk and R&B, cleverly crafted by a master musician. Lil Maceo has shared stages with iconic notables such as Prince, Maceo Parker, Huge Groove, Nick Coleone, and more. Join us tonight. Join the conversation and music of Lil Maceo now. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. So happy to have you guys coming in. That's right. I see the numbers rising. I see the comments are coming up. So glad to have you guys. I've pinned welcome in the chat. I love it. Love it. Mondays are like my special times of the week because I get to bring in indie artists that you may or may not even know about. And Lil Maceo and I had that quick conversation just a little while ago. I love what I do. And that is one of the things that you'll find with me, being the creator and host, of course, of the show, is that I love sharing with you maybe artists that you've never, ever heard of before. So tonight, let's get the party started. Make sure you share, tag, and invite. Let everybody know that we're on. Again, like I said, we've got comments that are coming in. Lil Maceo's getting himself together down there. I see him. Let's bring him on and give a warm Unsigned Artist Reveal welcome to Lil Maceo.
Hey.
Hey, how are you today?
How are you? Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure having you on. So glad to finally get to sit and chat and talk with you. So how are things in Virginia?
Yes.
Right.
Hot. We're in the middle of like this weird heat wave, so it's just
Are you really?
unbearably hot. Yes.
Wow. And being in the South, I really thought, well, Virginia's it's
Well,
not.
I'm in Northern Virginia, so it's south enough. Let's just say being from New York, I don't want to go any further south than this. So.
Oh, really? No, you're not missing anything. Believe you me. Oh God, we're having some of the same heat advisories that's going on, and we just want everybody to just be safe out there. Yeah.
We
Use
had
some.
several shows canceled because of the heat. We had a couple of festivals that, well, I should say they rescheduled us because of the heat. It was just
Really.
It was just brutal. It's been really brutal these last.
Grueling. Yeah. Wow. Well, we want people to come and see you, but we definitely want people to be safe out there, right?
Yes.
We don't want to see anybody
100%.
fainting on the lawn while you're playing.
Right.
That just wouldn't be good. Nah. Well, it's cool where you are at the moment and cool where I am at the moment. And we just want to get in and just start chatting with you. I want to know. I've read a lot about you because I knew you were coming to the show. But for those who don't know, start telling us and of course, those who are coming in after the fact, how you began in music. What was your first impression of music?
I have an interesting story on how I fell into this business of music. So, like I said, I'm from New York, Far Rockaway, Queens, New York to be exact. And I was in high school, and I was an art major. I used to, draw and airbrush and paint. So when I came into high school as a freshman, they asked me if I wanted to take music or art, and I'm like, it's a no-brainer. I'm taking art. So I continued to just, my entire high school career, I took art. And then a couple of weeks before my graduation, my guidance counselor brings me in and was like, listen, you did not meet the New York State requirements, even though I passed all the exams and did everything I was supposed to do. I didn't meet New York State requirements to graduate. New York State requires
Wow.
that you take at least one semester of music. So I
Okay.
got left back for 6 months
EGATs.
to music.
Oh, wow.
So upon doing that, there was another hiccup. Instead of giving me history, like the
Mhm.
history of music, like a class that I could study, they gave
Right.
me band, and I was forced to learn how to play an instrument.
Shut up. What?
So what's hilarious is I didn't even pick saxophone. At the time, I only knew a couple of instruments from watching cartoons or whatever. So initially I'm like piano, and they was like it's marching band. There is no piano, so I'm like okay, the drums. Drums are all taken. So the only
Yep.
other instrument that I knew was the tuba. So I'm like, give me the tuba. And the
What?
band teacher, Mr. Lambert was his name. Mr. Lambert was like, tuba, you don't look like a tuba player. Well, I'll be right back. And he went in the back and he came back and handed me a saxophone. And
Wow.
literally the rest is history.
And that's how, yeah,
That's
because
how
I
I
definitely,
literally fell into it.
literally, I mean, literally, wow. So the other instrument, so how long did you tinker around with the other instruments? Was it just not long?
No, like once so 6 months in,
In mhm.
I was really proficient on the saxophone.
Oh,
By the
wow.
time the graduation came around for
Mhm.
the that following year, I
Yeah.
got to perform with Najee. So after only
Ooh,
playing one year,
okay.
so after that,
Wow.
I decided, I realized that once you could play one instrument,
Yeah,
um, the theory behind it, the working theory, is all very, very similar. So I
absolutely.
started with piano, and I started just kind of tinkering around. So I taught myself how to play piano. I know how to play clarinet and flute, and
Look at
all the
you.
woodwinds are all the same. So if you
Oh,
play one woodwind, you can play them all. Um,
oh, got it. Yeah.
just like with trumpet and the brass, chances are if you play one, you can play them
You
all.
can play the
And it's
other.
all very,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all very, very similar.
Yeah. I think I was it Hank Bilal said he thought about trumpet, but his lips were too big. So he stayed he stayed with the trombone. Oh, that was so funny. I didn't know what he was gonna say, but I thought, okay, I haven't heard that one before. But it is so amazing how you guys fall into, as you said, learning or choosing the instruments, or sometimes the instrument choosing you. Could you see
Definitely.
yourself playing anything else now?
I don't. I was a high school English teacher and a dean. I was the youngest dean. I was the youngest
Oh,
dean in New
okay.
York State history,
Okay.
to this day.
Yeah.
And you know, when I had to make the decision, I got a developmental deal with Sony. So when I had to make the decision to kind of leave
Yeah.
teaching, it was tough, and
Of
my
course.
mom and everybody thought I was crazy because I had a great job. I had a great job,
Wow.
pension, the whole bit. And I was literally venturing into the unknown, but I was young enough that I was like, this is and listen, I missed the kids. I loved my job
I'm
teaching.
sure. Yeah.
Um, but I made the hard decision, and thankfully, knock on wood, I haven't had to look back. I've been doing this ever since.
How long were you teaching? For how long?
Almost 7 years, 8 years, almost like 8 years.
Wow. So I guess it's safe to say, I mean, you're still once a teacher, always a
Always.
teacher.
It's
Yeah,
just I come from a line of teach. Like I said, my mom is a teacher.
right,
She just retired recently.
right.
I just come from a line of teachers, so it's in
Wow.
my blood.
So then this is, I know it's a crazy question, but I like asking to get I think I like it more so to get um, the reaction from the artist. So if you could never play music again, ever, then would you go back then to teaching? Do you
No,
think?
I would not.
What would you be doing now then?
Well, little lesser known secret. that people don't know about me is that
Mhm.
I secretly own a visual effects company called Digital Alchemy Effects. So I would just make movies. I would just do that if I couldn't do this.
Make movies, really? Wow. What is
I've worked on some really great movies, some great TV shows,
yeah,
commercials that I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen,
yeah.
and had no idea. I was one of the people working on them.
Look at you. You're just full of talent.
Yeah,
Look at
one another true, sad but true story. So I'm a motorcycle enthusiast. I crashed my motorcycle really bad one time and
you.
almost severed my arm.
What?
It literally, yeah, my arm, this arm right here, actually, it was literally hanging on the muscle is what was
Oh,
holding
no
it together.
way. No.
Yeah, and I was
Jeez.
out of commission for like a while,
Of course you were.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
I that's how I supported myself doing music videos and commercials and things like that. I
Got
was able
it.
to do
Got
that
it.
until I was able to start performing, and even before the doctor was like, "Yeah, you shouldn't be performing for a couple of years." I'm like, "That's not happening." So like 6 months in, I'm like, I'm back on stage with my cast. It's like, it's like
Oh my god.
it's in my blood. I can't help it.
You can't
I need
help
to perform.
no,
Need to
no.
need to do
When
it.
it's in you, it just propels you, there's like nothing. And like I said, I ask that question because I love to hear the responses. One of my artists said he just wouldn't be able to live if he couldn't do
Yeah,
music.
I hear
I'm
you.
like, "What? Are you serious? Wow. That's amazing."
It's torturous. Like you know, I I'm one of those people who I hear music 24/7.
Wow.
Sometimes if you watch me carefully, you'll see me if I'm like by myself, I'm like jamming to myself, and I have music constantly 24/7 in my brain.
Yeah.
I feel like that contributes to my insomnia, which is why I was diagnosed with insomnia a handful of years ago, but I'm sure that contributes to it. Uh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just literally, and I'm constantly writing. I'm constantly, trying to get this music out of my head and pressed up
Um,
somewhere.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's difficult. It's very, very. If I couldn't play anymore, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know what I would do. It would drive me crazy.
Well,
It would drive me crazy.
let's just say we were praying that that never happens,
Yes.
okay? So who are some of your major influences?
Oh man. Easily Maceo Parker.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, Maceo being my mentor, which I if you could believe, there was a period in time where I didn't even know who Maceo Parker was.
And I
Um,
wanna talk about him after the break. I
sure.
want you to share with me him and others. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I could feel you were about to just let it rip about Maceo. I knew about it, I don't know if anybody else
Yes.
did. But
Uh,
beyond him, because I do want you to expound, after this break about him because he was a mentor, right?
yes.
Yeah. So beyond Maceo, who else influenced you?
Candy Dolfer.
Oh, hmm.
Definitely. Candy. Candy is she, and you know what? She's so down to earth. Like
Did she
I,
really?
I reached out to her before I met her. Before we met, I
Mhm.
would reach out to her randomly on social media, and she would like respond. I'm like,
Oh,
nobody ever respond. Like I said, it was so funny. I remember the day we met. She looked at me. She goes, "Where do I know you from?" She's like, we've met, right? And I'm like, trust me, we've never met. I mean,
aw.
I've emailed you a couple of times. She's like,
Mhm.
no, your face looks very, very, very familiar. And
Wow.
we just hit it off from that point on, and she's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, believe it or not, so one of the very, very first saxophonists I've ever heard. My
Mhm.
mom, my mom used to be a DJ, so she's huge in the
Whoa.
music, and
Mhm.
she used to play Kenny G all the time. So my very first introduction to saxophone, believe it or not, was Kenny G.
What?
So
Wow.
yeah, so I was that was my
Your
initial
moniker.
was
Yeah.
was Kenny G, and I used to play soprano, and even when I was under developmental, I was the Black Kenny G. That's how they marketed me, and that's what it was. It was hilarious, and then I discovered. but I discovered Maceo, and that was the end of that.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Well, I've got many more questions because I really want to talk about your mentor and the one that really, really influenced you. Um, because, of course, many are asking, what's his real name? It's not Lil Maceo. No,
No,
it's not.
it's funny. You're the list out of all the interviews and everything I've did. You're the only person that used my government in your intro, and I was like, wow, did she just use my government?
I did.
Okay.
I'm special like that.
Yeah, I'm so okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm special like that. But we're going to talk a little bit more about you, your influences, your mentor, and all the great stuff that makes up Lil Maceo. So hang out with me. I'll be back in just a little bit. And you guys don't go too far because we don't want you to miss a thing. So glad you're here with me on tonight. I'm glad to be back. I did see in the chat where some of the UAR family was saying, so glad to have Sabrina back. Yeah, there were some things happening with me last week, but I'm happy to be back in the saddle. So you guys don't go away. We'll be back in just a little bit on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. Hey everyone, Sabrina Taylor here. Join me on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Learn about the artistry of our guests through up-close and personal conversation and music premiere. Don't miss a segment. Come on, join the community. The Platinum Agencies is taking the indie brand to the next level with customized strategies that include interviews on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide and campaigns on social media. Listen to what these artists have to say about us. Independent artist Ashley Scott says, Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide is the premier platform for promotion of artists and musicians that borderline the genres of soul and jazz. Being a guest 3 times on the platform, I'm truly thankful for the opportunity and support given by Sabrina Taylor. She has helped create brand awareness, bringing new fans to my music. Every time I release a new song, I look forward to coming back to Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. Grammy Award, Dove Award, RIAA Certified Singer-Songwriter Cherie Patrice shares. Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide is a great platform and source for indie artists to promote, expound, and extend their brand. I can always count on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide to capture the essence, the heart, and the soul of an indie artist within its presentation. I always feel welcomed, celebrated, and in good hands with its CEO and founder, Sabrina Taylor, who puts her grand touch of elegance and excellence on every artist she comes in contact with. I highly endorse the Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide experience. The Platinum Agencies, better known as TPA, brand ambassador for the independent artists on social media. Connect with the Platinum Agencies at tpatheplatinum.agencies.com. Check out the new merchandise from Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. Our brand new black is the new white mug is available now at etsy.com. And while you're there, peek in on our tees. Don't forget, go over to etsy.com/shop/the Music Note Boutique. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. I am Sabrina Taylor, creator, host, influencer. That's me. It's a lot that I do, but I love what I do. And so glad to have you guys popping in. I see um, Sheila and Colleen and oh, Michael Upshaw. Hello there. Has just popped in at the bottom in Whittington. We've got the whole UAR family in the house. Maxie. I think I saw Rose Lady pop in and Terrence Thompson and Jay Ross. The whole family is in the house tonight, and we're so glad that you are here. Please make sure that you share, tag, invite, and have everybody else join in. We've got a very special guest tonight. Lil Maceo's in the house. So glad to have you here. Really
Hey,
glad to have you. So, as a saxophonist,
mhm.
there are so many, many different voices that you could choose. Of all of the in the sax family, what's your favorite voice
Alto by far.
by far? Why
Alto.
is that? Share with us.
I started out on tenor when I first started playing saxophone. I was a tenor saxophonist.
Got it.
When I became a professional, I was a soprano saxophonist. I played
Right, right.
soprano strict. That was it. And then there's something that the alto is so versatile.
Mhm.
I think that I can do all of the extremely high things that I can do on the soprano. I can get pretty low on it's a good mid-range all
It
around
is.
instrument. You know what I mean? For me, it's just like I said, it's very versatile,
Right. What
pretty. You know,
what do you think sets Lil Maceo apart from, because there are tons of sax players. Well, in the break, you just heard one that was Reggie Foster Jr. You guys, if you don't know, he's doing some new stuff. But there are tons of them. So,
yeah.
what is it that you feel sets you apart from the other saxophone players that are
I
out
believe I get asked this all the time,
there?
and
Yeah,
my answer is always the same. I'm one of those sax players that is unorthodox. I'm not like other sax players. I don't
right.
think like other sax. I don't even approach saxophone like other sax players.
Okay,
A lot of guys they come from like a jazz bebop kind of background.
right.
I come from a more pop rock and R&B background.
Yeah.
And I always say I was probably a guitar player in another life because I attack the saxophone like I'm playing guitar. and
Okay.
um and if you see me, there's a lot of times I'm doing like guitar stuff with the saxophone. It's hilarious. But
Right.
yeah, I always say to people all the time, I'm not the best sax player out there by far. There's so many amazing guys, but I have a thing that's mine. It took me a long time to figure out my own voice and my own sound.
Absolutely.
Now that I have it, I'm the absolute best at what I do.
Yes, you
So
are.
I have a thing, and I'm the best at it, and people like it, which is that's half the battle. Getting the people
Absolutely.
to get
Absolutely.
behind you. My
Yeah.
sound is very different. I also feel like I'm one of those guys that's kind of like if I had to compare like Dave Matthews, like that. If you
Mhm.
bring up Dave Matthews, people go, "Oh, I love Dave Matthews." Oh, I can't stand Dave Matthews. I feel like I'm the same way, and either you really love me or you really
Yep.
hate me. I don't think there's any kind of middle ground. But fortunately, most people that's come across they love what I do because it's different.
It
Like I said,
is.
I bring something very very different, and
Yes.
and I think my goal is why I'm not bigger than I am is because I need to reach more people. So I feel
Right.
like by getting to the masses, by doing wonderful shows like yours and others, it's a great opportunity and a great platform for me to reach people
Sure.
who may not know who I am. So thank goodness for people like you. Hey,
Aw,
Ty.
and I know. Hello, Miss Tyrone. She was here. Such a
That's
very,
my.
very
He goes. You don't know that's my manager extraordinaire, Miss Tyron Senior, from
Yes, I
TCU
do
Management.
know. Yes, she is phenomenal. I mean,
She's
the
amazing.
duplicity of her with you guys. I mean, how she can share herself with you
I
guys.
don't know
I'm
how
like,
she does it.
how do
I definitely monopolize her time. I don't know how she does it. I'm like, we're all her babies. I'm definitely the spoiled baby. I gotta tell
Oh boy. Oh my goodness.
I mean, you know what? She's a godsend. I've had several managers, and I feel like I've always each manager I've gone as far as I can go with them before I move on. And
Mhm.
when we met, me and her clicked instantly.
Immediately. Yep.
And we just had our year anniversary when I signed with her, and I'm just
Mm.
like, it's been such a roller coaster ride. It's been exciting, and we're doing such great things. We have even more things planned
Oh,
uh,
I'm
coming
sure.
up soon,
I'm
really, really
sure.
soon. Like
I'm
when
sure.
I say the future, I mean like in a couple of weeks, like soon.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm very excited, and I'm so blessed to have Ty in my corner. You know, I love you, Ty. Thank you. Like I said, one of the best things that happened to
Mm.
me in my career.
Look at that. And she says, I love you guys. Thank you, my darling. We love you too. We really do. We really do. And happy anniversary from Whittington. She's saying
Thank
because you mentioned
you.
that you guys, yeah, been
Thank
together
you.
for a year. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we want to continue to talk about you. And so I wanted to ask you about the name Lil Maceo. Okay.
Everybody.
Here we go. Here we go. So how that name come to, I mean, we know one moniker is the Black Kenny G. Okay,
Yes.
we talked about that before break.
BKG, as they for short. Yes.
So
somewhere
how'd
my
you get
agent,
this name? How'd you get this
somewhere my agent Scott Rush is laughing like BKG.
name?
Um. So everybody always goes, "Is Missy your father?" No, I wish, but no,
Yeah,
unfortunately not.
yeah.
But so when I was in New York, I used to play in various bands, and one band in particular was the band called the Days of Wild. Shout out Papagayo. Um, and the Days of Wild would have like celebrity vocalists and guests every show.
Sure.
And for a while, we had George Bragg. George Bragg would come on, and he would sing. And George Bragg was big like in the 60s and 70s.
Mhm.
And he had Jimi Hendrix was in his band as his guitar player. So that was, it was a big deal. And one night, we're doing a show, and I take a solo, and he looks over to me and he goes, "Man, you got a little Maceo thing about you. You remind me of Maceo. I'm gonna call you Little Maceo." I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I like that." So slowly but surely, people started calling me Little Maceo, and I'm like, "I like that." And for a while, it was uh, it was like an add-on to my name.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, my full government is Kareem Walks, and which I never divulged this. Like I said, I never tell everybody my real name ever. So you
They
get
missed it if they
exclusively here. You're getting it
that
right
was
here.
yep. They have to go to the top. They have to do the replay to hear that, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
so for a while I was Kareem Little Maceo Walks. You know what I mean?
Oh, gotcha.
That's what it
Gotcha.
was. Then that
Mm.
became Little Maceo Kareem Walks. And then eventually just now it's just Little Maceo. And
I like it.
I like it too. It's
It
cool
fits.
because
Yeah.
it's I feel like it people when they hear me they think about Maceo, which is great. And I
Yeah.
used to honestly I used to swear to God I used to think I sounded like Maceo Parker. Like I'm like, "Yeah." Until I played with Maceo Parker.
Well, that was my
I
next question.
realized,
Have you ever played with him?
oh
Have
yes,
you
definitely.
do
Yeah,
you
definitely.
share a special
Definitely.
moment?
So
Share a special moment.
in
Yeah.
fact, actually, there's a YouTube video. If you go to YouTube and you
Uh-huh.
put Pass the Peas, Maceo, and Little Maceo, Maceo Parker and Little Maceo, you have a video of me playing Pass the Peas with Maceo Parker at the Blue Note in New York City.
Wow.
But I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
But so quick hilarious story about Maceo. Maceo never remembers anybody's name. So when the very first time we met at a club in New York called SOBs, the Sounds of Brazil,
Mm.
and he was walking around before the show, And I went up to him. I said, "Oh my God, I'm such a huge fan." Blah blah blah. He shook my hand. He goes, just like Candy Dolfer. This is the first time we met. He goes, "You look familiar. Have we met?" And I said, "No, sir. I wish we had, but no, sir. I think I have one of those faces that people just."
Yes.
And
Hmm.
he shook my hand. He goes, "What's your name, son?" So I tell him my name is Kareem or whatever. He goes, all right, Kareem. I'm never gonna remember that. You look like I know what it is. You look like that Cosby kid. So and I'm like, "Oh, you mean like Theo?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna call you Cosby Kid, not
Oh my
Theo. He
God.
calls me Cosby Kid."
Really?
This went on for years. Whenever he saw me, "Hey, Cosby Kid,"
Oh
"Hey,
my
Cosby Kid,"
Lord.
you know.
Love
Like I
it.
said,
I
not
love it.
Theo or anything, just Cosby Kid.
Cosby Kid, yeah.
So, that night in question, we were, we played, and we were up in the green room after the show, and he goes, "Hey, Cosby Kid, come over here." He's like, "What's your actual name again?" So this time I say, "Well, people actually call me Little Maceo." He goes,
Ooh.
"What? They call you what?" And I
I
said,
love
"Yes,
it.
sir."
I love it. Oh
I
my
said,
god.
"Yes, sir." They
I
actually
love it.
call me Little Maceo.
How
He goes,
was he with that?
I don't know about
Oh,
that." So he says, "Where were you 30 years ago? Because 30 years ago, I would spank you." And I said, "Sir, I'm pretty sure you can spank me today." And he laughed, and we laughed. And
oh
then he
my
says, "You know what? I
lord.
guess that's okay. That's okay." And that's it. So I officially adopted the name, and here I
Yeah.
am.
That's a funny story. I'm glad I asked you to share that.
Maceo, people don't know. Maceo is so down to earth.
Is he?
I've heard a couple of different stories from different people,
Mhm.
and I realize it's just when they catch Maceo, it's probably at the end of the night. He's tired.
Mhm.
He's not a young man, and he's just like, "Dude, I'm tired. Leave me alone." But he's
Oh,
very
yeah.
friendly. Like I've never gotten any bad energy from him.
Yeah.
I ask him all kind of questions, and he answers
Yeah.
without hesitation.
Yeah.
He was awesome. He was awesome.
So did you ever garner any, like, advice, wisdom keys from him? Did he ever drop little
Yeah,
gold nuggets?
yeah. I mean, I one of the things about me, I've played with a lot of big acts,
Mhm.
and every bit, even the smaller bands, I always try to take something from every
Sure.
situation that I've
Of
ever been in.
course. Of course.
As my illustrious manager always says, there's a teachable moment in every scenario.
Every
And
scenario.
good or bad, there's always a teachable moment there.
It is.
And
It
I
is.
believe that, and like I said, I try to take something from every situation that I've ever been in.
Sure.
And with Maceo, I've learned how to really talk to the audience and control the room.
Mhm.
I was in a band called Milo Z back in New York. I learned how to run a band and how to put on a show, how to develop my show to the point where it's not just a gig, it's a show. I learned how to entertain
Yeah.
being in Milo Z. Like I said, I played with like JT Taylor from Cool in the Game. I learned how to command like a respect. Like he's like music royalty almost,
Yes,
and
he
he
is.
carries himself in such a way that I'm like, I want to be like that.
Mm,
From never, like he never lets you see what he's gonna wear until it's showtime.
that's
And
true.
that's where I get it from. Like everybody who knows who's seen my show, you don't see me until it's showtime. And when you see me, I'll be in regular clothes. And then when it's showtime, it's showtime. And
Yeah.
so I adopted that from JT. Prince just, I learned even, my time with Prince was very brief, but Prince just you know, sorry, I get emotional. Talking about,
Okay.
I miss
It's
Prince.
Prince.
I was, well, my mom will tell you, I was the hugest Prince fan in the world.
Wow. Yeah.
And to be able to, even like my first meeting of Prince,
Mhm.
the way we met and everything, and to be able to go to his house and hang out, and he comes to my shows, and it was just I don't know, it was just incredible.
Right.
Um, he, you learn how to perfect. I learned how to perfect my craft
Great.
with
Yeah.
Prince because his regimen was so intense. He just wanted you to be the best version of you. And
Yeah.
now I take that and I pass it down to my band. I want them to all be the best versions of them. I have we have I guess a family member, Alina Sierra. I
Mhm.
kind of took her under my wing, and now I'm like her mentor, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I'm literally just trying to make her the best version of her.
Yeah.
So, and then hopefully she'll take that and pass it on, and it's just like we'll just keep the circle going and try to keep this music thing alive, especially for the indie
Right.
artists because it's tough. We don't have the same machine pushing us, like
No,
some other
like
artists. We
years
don't
ago.
have all the
Right.
resources. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's
It's
tough to
different. Yeah.
make
It's
right.
totally
To be able to
different.
make noise in any capacity is a blessing. And again, like
Yeah.
I said, like shows like yours really make it easy for like artists like myself and all the other indie artists out there to
Yeah.
have a voice. You give, like I said, voice to the voiceless. So it's a beautiful thing.
Before I go to break, I wanted to ask this one question though, and I'm glad that you're talking about being the best version of you. Do you make time? And it may sound like a crazy question, but this is for the viewers, uh, because entertainment is so demanding. You can't just grab a horn and stand on the stage and close your eyes and play anymore these days.
No.
And I
No.
still see some trying to do that, and
Yes.
it's like my stomach just goes, "Oh my god, you gotta entertain people." Just you might be a great sax player, but if you're not entertaining, you become boring, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you set aside special time for just you? I know you rehearse eventually with your band, but before you connect with your band, do you rehearse with just you and become one and connect and
Oh,
uh,
constantly,
yeah,
constantly. One of the other things that I've taken from Prince was that it just doesn't stop. You have to, you always learn. You're
evolving, yeah. Mhm.
always evolving.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's just it. Like I practice every day. I'm in
Good.
front of a mirror working on my dance steps, and I'm working
Wow.
on this, and I'm working on.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just never stops. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
again, I but I strive to be able to put on the best show because people spend their hard-earned money to come see me, and I've gotten to the point where my celebrity is at a point where it's not a $5 show anymore. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So when you start getting
Exactly.
to the 40, 50, 60, $70 range,
Yep.
people they want
They
something
wanna
for
be entertained.
and
Exactly. Yeah.
I always, when I first set out to do this, I said, even if it's just one person, if I can take that one person for the 90 minutes that I got them and make them forget about whatever it is they're going through, I succeeded as an
You
entertainer.
have.
And my goal is to make sure that everybody has a good time and can forget about whatever, people, like, especially now, like with COVID and all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world,
Yes.
they need an escape. And I hope to be that escape for people. That's why I said I always start my shows when I'm in a new market. I go, how many of you guys have ever heard of me? And depending on, sometimes it's a lot of people, sometimes it's some people. One time in Memphis, I never forget it. I said it. I was with Uncle Nick and
Yep.
Eugene and Huge Groove. I was with Nick
Mhm.
Coleon and Huge Groove,
Yeah.
and I was opening for them on this run. And I was like, "How many guys ever heard of me?" And it was like crickets. I was like, "Oh my god,
Oh my God.
that has never happened." It was like crickets, and I was like,
Oh
but
no.
I said, "You know what? I guarantee you, by the time my time is up, you will never forget me."
You will
And they
never
never
forget.
did.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
was wonderful. It was
Amazing.
wonderful. I made so many new fans, and everywhere I go, I make new fans. Once you just give me a little bit of your attention, I guarantee I'll hook you.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's do this. Let's take our last break of the night. We
Sure.
want to come back and we want to talk about the music and
Yes.
definitely get into the most recent release or project, which is Evolution.
Evolution. Mhm.
Yes, and I love that, by the way. So um, just hang out with me. We're going to come back. We're going to take care of business, and then we're going to ask a few more questions and get into the actual music premiere. So hang out, and you guys don't go away. We're coming back in just a little bit. If you want to spotlight your talent, boost your brand, email us your best MP3 at unsignedartistreveal@gmail.com to be considered as a featured artist on our platform. Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on Unsigned Artist Reveal. Come on, join the community. The Platinum Agencies is taking the indie brand to the next level with customized strategies that include interviews on Unsigned Artist Reveal worldwide and promotional campaigns on social media. Listen to what these artists had to say about us. Daryl Anders of Agape Soul says Sabrina Taylor has created a brilliant platform to showcase unsigned and independent artists. She's been a great resource for increasing awareness and helping me to build my brand. International guitarist Gary Purcell says Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide offers a platform for unsigned artists to showcase and put themselves in a position where people can have an opportunity to learn about the artist in an up-close and personal setting. Sabrina Taylor does a great job making you feel comfortable and can really present the artist well to the audience. And it does not hurt that she has a smooth voice. The Platinum Agencies, better known as TPA, brand ambassador for indie artists on social media. Connect with the Platinum Agencies at gmail.com. Check out the new merchandise from Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. Our brand new black is the new white mug is available now at Etsy.com. While you're there, peek in on our tees. Don't forget, go over to Etsy.com/shop/The Music Note Boutique. Well, everybody, hey, welcome back. And it is the last quarter of the night. It just seems like the time has just flown past. And I hate that because when the conversation is really, really good, um, I don't like to end it. But all good things must come to an end. That's what somebody said. I don't believe that. Do you believe that? I don't. I really don't. But I'm glad you guys are here. And if you are just tuning in, of course, I'm Sabrina Taylor, creator, host, influencer on social media, bringing you the best of the best, bringing you some of the best of the best. And I mean that. All these guys are amazing. More to come in weeks to come. And we want to begin to chat with Lil Maceo a little bit more before we go to the music and share with you some tidbits. You can go out and venture into the music stores and peep into the library. So, speaking of library, how many projects have you actually? I'm sure you've got tons and tons of music, right? But how many projects have you released to date?
Um, so as far as original music, I have three projects that are
Gotcha.
out. Evolution being the third.
The third, yeah.
Uh, and I have a series that started out as a Instagram. I don't want to say stunt, but I needed something to boost Instagram followers and things. So what I did was I started this series called Saxophonist. So what I did was I went on and I
Okay.
said, hey, let me know what song you would like to hear saxophoned. Like, give me one of your favorite songs, and I'll try to cover it. And that's what I did. And the very first iteration of it was so successful. I'm up to volume 5 now.
What?
So
Are you serious?
I am serious.
Okay.
So it's been
Wow.
very, very successful, my saxophone series.
Yeah.
So, we
Yeah.
have, 5 of those and then my 3 albums.
Yeah.
So
So do
there's
you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite?
album.
Mhm.
Um,
Of your own that you've put out?
yes.
Of
My
those, do you have
favorite
a favorite? Yeah.
album, um, I think my favorite album would be my sophomore album, which was His Name is Kareem.
Really?
Um, I think that one is my favorite. Even
Mhm.
though, listen, Evolution right now, my new project
Yeah.
is great because it's a culmination of my journey, my musical
Yes.
journey.
Exactly.
I the reason I'm not picking it because of anything musically, I'm picking it more from an emotional point
Oh,
because when I was recording that, there was a lot of stuff going on in my life.
gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Right.
I believe it or not, I almost gave up. I was at the point of like, okay, I'm gonna quit.
Now,
You know?
do you know? Okay, okay, Lord, I hear you. Let me say this to you. When I was sitting here, when you came in back of house, you guys, me and the artists always chat before they come on. I said, Lord, what do you want me to ask Lil Maceo? And I promise you, I am not lying. I heard ask him about when he almost quit. I said, huh? So I've kind of
Yeah.
been letting this thing flow freely. I said,
And
God,
it came around anyway. See?
hello.
I'm a believer that music
Wow.
is organic. And I always say to my band, you know, whenever I have subs or anything, I'm like, I have 3 simple rules to being in my band.
Okay.
One, you have to pay attention
Yeah.
because I know we rehearse, but I feed off of the people, and
Mhm.
sometimes I call audibles. You know what I mean? So I need you to
Ah,
pay attention.
yeah.
Number two,
Mhm.
I need you to be prepared. Whatever it
Of
is, just
course.
know, I trust you to know your stuff. Know
Sure.
your stuff.
Sure.
And number three, when all
Mhm.
else fails, I don't care what you play as long as it's funky. Play it. If you feeling it, do it. You
Do
know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And let's just have a good time. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it's been working so far. You know?
Has it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much so.
So let's talk a little bit about evolution.
Yeah. So,
What was the inspiration behind just even the title of evolution?
like I said, it was literally a culmination. I feel like, going as we discussed earlier from my days,
Yeah.
from the BKG to, like I said, it's interesting on my YouTube channel
Mhm.
during the pandemic. I did a bunch of streaming videos, and one of the videos I did was I remade Seasons of Love from Rent,
Mhm.
and the initial premise of the video was I wanted to have a bunch of my friends
Mhm.
get together and play. Unfortunately, it fell through. It didn't work out that way, but the show must go on. So what
Yeah.
I did was
Mhm.
I went through every iteration of myself. So if you
Wow.
look at the video, there's different iterations of myself through history. And at the very end of the video,
Mhm.
I have everybody's name, so you get to see every iteration of myself leading up to today.
Okay.
and it ended up
Yeah.
being such a good idea. Like I said, you can see it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It just ended up being really, really, really a fun project, and it got me thinking. I said, you know what?
Mhm.
Th- I really had a wonderful career. It had its ups, it had its downs,
Yeah.
but I think I finally, for the first time,
Mhm.
through like his name is Kareem, Passion,
Mhm.
all those other, Sax in the City, all of those albums and things that I had, um, even through like I finally I'm happy with my
Mhm.
sound. I'm happy with who I am as an artist. And that's
Yes.
why I call it evolution. It was just literally my journey to get to this point where I know who I am as an artist. There's no denying I know who I am. I'm not trying to find myself anymore. I'm not trying to figure out, like I said, it's tough for me because my music is very different
Yeah.
from the traditional smooth or contemporary jazz. So
Mhm.
as such, I have trouble being booked. Like people don't want to book me, or some places I won't name anybody, but they don't want to play my music because it doesn't fit the mold of what they decided
Uh,
contemporary jazz is supposed to sound like.
yes.
So it's tough. So like contemporary jazz clubs don't want to book me because it's not really contemporary jazz, and then the regular pop rock clubs don't want to book me because it's not enough vocals. So I find myself in this weird space.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
thankfully, with I have an incredible team of people behind me.
Yeah.
We figured out like, look, we're gonna do what we do. We're gonna bring it to the people. It's like supply and demand. It's like business 101. I have
Yeah.
something that people want, and I'm gonna give it to the people. And I'm not gonna beg or plead it if anybody to give me anything. I'm gonna just go get it, and that's what
Right.
we're doing.
Wow. It is a challenge to be outside of the box,
It
you
is.
know? It really, really is because if the herd is going to the left and you're going to the right, somebody's gonna turn around and say, "You're not coming with us?"
Right. No.
No. I'm
You
going this
know,
way.
it's tough. It's really,
And
really
it's tough.
It's
Yeah.
really, really tough
Yeah.
because, the easy thing would be to just fall in line
Follow. Yep.
and do what
Exactly.
everybody else is doing.
Yes.
But I've never, my mom will tell you, I've never really been that person.
Me either.
I
Mhm.
question everything. Like,
I'm the
why are
one
you guys
person
doing
too.
Why are you
Exactly.
doing it? Like, I'm
Yeah.
just, that's how I am. I question everything. And
I'm a why. Yeah.
um, I don't know how to conform. I'm not happy just doing this because everybody else is doing it. I'm
Yeah.
not that guy. Sorry.
True
And I don't
creative.
I don't want to cause like I told you with Ty, I'm like the
Mhm.
spoiled baby, but that's just how I am. I'm not doing that because everybody
Aw.
else is doing it. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I have to try to make my own way, and
Yeah.
that's what we've been doing. I've been forging ahead, and finally, I'm picking up momentum, and people are going, "Hey, this is actually cool," even though it's
Yeah.
different. You know,
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I tell you, your music is it can be very raw, and you're an energetic,
thank you.
performer. You
I
really
try
are.
to be.
Because there's no going to sleep on you. Hello. Okay. So I really love the edgy part of you. You mentioned, and we're going to actually take a look at the music premiere. You mentioned your music brother, Mike Phillips. That's one of the things that drew me to him was that he was edgy. He wasn't your standard contemporary smooth jazz elevator playing type of saxophonist. And it was like, well, who is that?
Right.
And it's the same with you. You take it beyond and you're on the edge and it's like this amazing breath of fresh air.
Thank
And
you.
so that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to let everybody hear Evolution by our good friend and family. Now you are our family member, Lil
Yes.
Maceo. Yes, indeed. So you guys, hearts, emojis, likes. I want to see it all in the chat. Exactly. There you go. And we'll come back and we'll chat about it in just a little bit. Enjoy Evolution, everybody. Lil Maceo, everybody. Evolution.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you.
Were you playing?
Oh, I forgot you can see me, even though I
I
couldn't.
can see. I could
I can.
see
Okay.
you.
All
I was
right.
like, is he playing this? You're
I
actually
am.
playing.
I am.
Oh, wow. So has it gone to radio already?
um, Not yet. It's gonna be
Mhm.
hopefully by the end of next week.
Okay.
So we're
Okay.
just waiting for the rest of the. There's like three more tracks that have to wait. That the match it's being mastered. So as
Got
soon as
it.
it comes back, then it's off and running.
Off and running. Well, I think it's going to do amazing on the
Thank
charts.
you. Thank you.
It
I
is
hope so.
it is fire because that's what some of the comments were.
Awesome.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like I said, I know it's
Um,
very different than what you guys are,
are used to.
accustomed to, but
Yeah.
different
Exactly.
doesn't make it bad.
Exactly. Rose Lady says there's another saxophonist I know personally that plays very similar. So
Oh,
I mean, I
awesome.
just I love it all. Well, there's a user with fire. There's
Thank
someone
you.
even saying fire.
Thank you.
Colleen has her hearts um
Thank you, Colleen.
and I
Thank
think
you.
even Rosalie said, "Now this here is fire. That's all I got."
Rosalie, thank you so much. I
That's all
appreciate
I got. Ricky Hawkins sounding good, my sax brother.
Thank you, Ricky,
So
brother. Appreciate you, man.
just wonderful comments, and we truly, truly appreciate you guys's um, feedback and sharing with us.
Definitely.
So, what do you want people to walk away with after hearing your music, experiencing you at a show? What is it that you want them to leave with, take away with?
Um, so yeah, like for me, we talk about my energy and
Yeah.
things like that. I feel like the reason I worked so hard to put on a
Mhm.
show, because if we're having fun, and this is I tell my band this, if we're having fun, everybody
Mhm.
else is having fun. I just want everybody to
Exactly.
have fun.
Right.
Like I said, you
Mhm.
could go in and I could be the guy who stands there and just, got the
Yep.
cool mood light and just
Yeah.
play. And, you know,
Mhm.
after a while, you're like, okay, this is cool, but, what else you got?
What else you got?
So I'm not, like I said, if those of you who haven't seen my show, like I said, you can Google me or YouTube me or even on social media,
Mhm.
you'll see I'm very in your face. I
Yep.
always say at every show, this is
Yep.
an interactive show, which means y'all are a part of the show. And
Exactly.
I walk around, I jump on tables, I sit
Yes,
on
you
mats,
do. I've
I
seen it.
I dance with people while I'm playing, like I'm very in your face.
I love it. I
I'm one
love
of those people, again, it goes back to me being a little spoiled. Um, you're gonna pay attention to me. I don't, I'm not one of those background music kind of people.
right.
And I've noticed that, and when I start playing, no matter what people are doing, they go, "Oh wait, hey, what's going on over there?" And I instantly grab the crowd, like
Yes.
the first note out of my, and I'm like, and I appreciate that. I have, like I
Yeah.
said, I have that ability to hook people in very, very quick.
Yes.
So
Yes, you
I like
do.
that.
Yes,
So
you
what
do.
I want people to take away is just joy. Have a good
Enjoy.
time.
Yeah.
I want you to know that, like, no matter, like I said, no matter what's happening,
Sure.
there's always light at the end of the tunnel. There's always a better day, a better tomorrow. Yeah.
Indeed. Absolutely. And I put all the places that you can connect with him is his website. I even saw your government name out there. So I guess it converts to Little Maceo once you type it in. Does it? Does it?
It
Because
shouldn't.
I typed it in and then all of a sudden I saw littlemaceo.com.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't know if your social media people are doing that, but you go to
But
one,
like
you
I said, I
got
have an
him.
amazing team. I have an amazing team.
You have a great team of people
I do. I have a
really
great, great
working for
team.
you. And he's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Are you on TikTok as
I
well?
just
Okay,
started
got it.
TikTok 2 days
Hmm.
ago.
Got it. It- we'll give you a little time to get.
Yeah, I always
Mhm,
tell people this too, just as a PSA, so people
mhm,
know.
mhm.
I have an amazing social media team.
Yeah,
It's people go, I DM'd you and you didn't respond. I'm like, it's not me, people. I'm sorry.
yeah.
The easiest way to find me is I'm on Instagram more than I'm never on
Gotcha,
Facebook,
gotcha.
never on Twitter, never. I'm never on Snapchat. I'm never on any of those places. I'm always, I have a team of people, and like I said, they're amazing. Amy and all
Yeah.
those people, they're all amazing. All you guys, I love you guys. They're amazing. So
Oh,
don't get mad. It's not,
it's not
and
you.
honestly, they give me my messages
Yeah.
once every like 2 or 3 weeks. Like sometimes it's once a
Oh,
month, and
wow.
I'll go, oh, okay, let me respond to this person. Let me, and I always go, hey, sorry for the delay. I'm never on here. Blah
Right.
blah blah blah. Blah. But it's never me. So even if you go, oh, his light is green, let me reach out. It's not me.
It's not you.
It's not me.
I love it. Wow. Wow. And Rose Lady says she also hears this on Sirius XM. Um and one of my music partners said she would love to play it
Oh,
on
yes,
STL
definitely.
Smooth Jazz. That's one of my partners. So what's going to happen tonight, if I haven't, I don't think I told you, I don't know if Tyron told you, but they will see you for a whole nother week after this
Awesome.
week. So you will be on at least three more radio partners.
Wow, that's amazing.
STL Smooth Jazz, which is right there with
Thank
Michelle,
you.
the Jazz Club Radio,
Awesome.
um, and you'll also be on 95.2. It's in Cleveland.
Awesome.
Right now, we are simultaneously broadcasting to Cruise 108 point. I forget what the call it, but it's Cruise.
Okay.
Cruise Sherman's radio station. Yeah.
Oh my
Cruise
goodness, that's
Inc.
amazing.
radio.
That's
So
amazing.
you're already broadcasting
That's
just from
amazing.
being on here
Thank you.
tonight.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
yes,
And
that's what we
Michelle, yes, Miss Sellers, yes, we can make that. We're definitely gonna make that.
So you're gonna be rebroadcasted after tonight. So
Amazing.
we have so enjoyed you. It has just
Oh, it
been
was a
a
pleasure
blast.
being here. I told you I've been looking forward to this for weeks. So thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Well, everybody, I want to tell you guys thank you. It has been like this this process of me getting back in the saddle, and you guys have made it so easy. That the my transparency, sometimes I don't like to share what's going on with me, but I just wanted to let you all know what was happening. And then, so not seeing you last week, I feel like I've been gone for like a month, and it's only been one week, but I'm so glad to be back. Thank you. I have a Facebook user saying great interview. I'm not sure
Thank
um
you, Facebook user.
who that is from, but I do appreciate you telling me that, because our team puts a lot of effort into the promotions for
You
the
guys are
artists
doing
before they even
wonderful.
sit in that chair.
It's
You're gonna at
wonderful.
least know their face before they sit. Oh, it's Ron Ledford. Okay, gotcha. I
Good.
figured it was Ron, but I wasn't really sure because they knew that it happened to you once before, my friend. And
Thank you,
Colleen
Ron.
says,
I
great,
appreciate you, brother.
great interview, Sabrina and Maceo. Thank you, Colleen, Keithley,
Thank you,
somebody you
Colleen.
didn't
Thank
know.
you.
Yeah, she's tons of smooth jazz groups. So if your staff is listening, she's somebody that you need to know, because she's got a ton of smooth jazz groups that you can connect with to keep your
Perfect.
music
Yeah.
promoted. Yeah, and,
Send,
and
send,
I
send me a
always
message. We'll get on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
promote inside of her group as well. Thank you, Colleen, for being
Thank you.
such a resource for the Unsigned Artist Reveal and
Thank you.
all of the
Thank you.
smooth
Thank
jazz.
you.
And Rose Lady Edmond as well. She repurposes all of you guys' stuff as well. So I've got a team of people in my family that helps make Unsigned Artist Reveal really
Maurice.
what it is.
Yay.
I couldn't do it alone. Michael Upshaw, thank you. He says, welcome back. Good interview as always. I appreciate you, mighty man. I really
Thank
do.
you, Michael.
Yes, indeed. So, everybody, listen, remember, what you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. Please, please stay safe out there, stay protected, because I tell you, you let your guard down 1 minute and it's always something. But listen, know that you're loved. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'm sure Lil Maceo
Oh, I
loves
love
you.
you guys. Oh,
Tyron, you both keep soaring. Oh,
hi.
look at
Love you.
that. I love her. Don't you just love her?
I love you so
You
much.
just-
You know that.
oh, I do. I
Yes,
do.
exactly. I also like she's just said. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. It was a
Oh,
pleasure to get to meet a lot of you guys, and thank you for all the positive feedback and everything. I appreciate you guys.
thank you. Thank you guys so much. Well, we'll see you same time next week. Please hang out with us for our outro, and we'll see you again soon. Take care and blessings, everybody. Take care.